When the Hmong encountered the Vietnam War spreading to Laos, America recruited them to help their soldiers in exchange for a safe alternative home. When the invasion in Laos got out of hand, it caused a chain of events leading to the Hmong coming to America and having to explore the new way of life they were forced to live. Before the Vietnam War, Hmong settled in countries like China, Thailand, Vietnam, and Laos. They lived in the mountains because of the good farming land, and after about 10 years, Hmong would resettle for fresh, unused soil.
The Hmong people live way up in the mountains, so we pretty much have to clear land for farming. We take out all the weeds that grow along with the rice. At the same time, we usually plant corn.
Many Hmong also had the religion of animism, the belief that all living things have spirits, and they were very close to the shamans who helped them through hard times. This way of living did not continue. In 1945, the Hmong encountered the Vietnam War. This was when France controlled all of Vietnam. Conflict happened when Ho Chi Minh, the leader of the Vietnam Communists, wanted to take over Vietnam. Fighting began over who would get the land, and by 1954, the government decided it was too much. They decided that Ho Chi Minh would get control of North Vietnam. These people became known as the Communists. South Vietnam became democratic. When the United States became involved in the Vietnam War, it was because Ho Chi Minh was then trying to take control over South Vietnam. The United States and surrounding countries were concerned that if South Vietnam fell to communism, the rest of the countries down to Australia would fall like dominoes as well. This was known as the domino theory. The Vietnam War was spread to Laos in the early 1960s. This attack was planned as a secret invasion when Ho Chi Minh sent his North Vietnamese troops through Laos to send supplies down the Ho Chi Minh Trail to South Vietnam, where the fighting was happening. The United States made the first turning point in this invasion when they secretly recruited thousands of Hmong men and boys to help them and be spies for the CIA.
Okay, anybody know CIA? CIA is a secret army for the United States. Okay, so they send a secret army to train people in Laos, train us to fight with the North Vietnamese in Laos.
The United States had to recruit the Hmong because both the Hmong and United States were losing to the communist soldiers. The countries thought teaming up would increase power. This war was so secret that the U.S. dropped weapons in Laos hidden in rice sacks so everyone believed America was helping the Hmong and not the other way around. Once the Hmong became spies, it was harder for Ho Chi Minh and his troops to plan the secret invasion. An estimated 30,000 Hmong were involved in the war. Besides being spies, many Hmong were soldiers, flew combat, rescued flyers, stole supplies sent from North Vietnam to South Vietnam, and more. 1/10 of the Hmong population died from things that weren't even war. Famine, fire, and disease were big causes. According to Henry Kissinger, the operation, conceived in doubt and assailed by skepticism, preceded by confusion. The Hmong had to flee somewhere safe, away from their original homes.
We realized that we're not able to stay anymore. So I actually one of the group that trying to escape to Thailand at that time. If you want to go to Thailand, you have to go right now. And so I just gathered my things, a couple pounds of rice and then a blanket. And so we actually walked for a few days, from our village and to one of the bridge to get to the Mekong rivers. And when we got there, it took about, I think 2 nights actually for the boats to come to pick us up and cross over to Thailand.
Many Hmong ended up going to refugee camps, where many were brought sick, injured, or both. Refugee camps brought hope for soon being able to live in America. Although the camps were run by the United Nations, the living conditions were horrible. Many refugees were brought to a camp, and most had to stay for years.
The condition in there was so bad that, when people have to use the bathroom, they have to go find some place out, like, outside of the camps or around the fence of the camps, for them to go to use the toilet. Garbage is everywhere. There is no landfills for people to dump their garbage. So people dump their garbage, right by their house, wherever they can find a spot. Kids have only one shorts on. They don't even have a shirt. They don't even have a shoes or a pants, okay? Kids just have a short on, running on the streets. There's kids everywhere, okay, because it was so crowded. Everybody was jammed into the camp. People don't have any privileges. which means that once you come into the camp, your rights are taken away because you are now a refugee when you come into the camp.
If Hmong weren't brought to camps, most assumed they would be just killed by the war or put in jail. Luckily, by this point, being brought to the camps was a sign of safety. When the Hmong left Laos, many secret battles were still going on, and by 1975, all Americans were required to leave Laos. Soon after, in 1976, the Hmong were able to come to America.
A lot of people that make the choice to come to this country feel a lot better when they were out of this refugee camp, because when they come to this country, opportunity were given to them.
After about 15 years, Bon Vinai and some other camps were even closed down because of the non-stop refugee flow. They said that these camps were only supposed to be temporary. Once this happened, those that could prove that they had helped the Americans generally had an easier time getting to America.
The Hmong fought on the side of the United States in Laos. The Hmong lost the war, and then the United States government pulled their soldiers back to the United States, and then the Hmong came after. So that's why we live here.
They mostly went to the states, California, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. A popular place was even the La Crosse region. By 2002, 94% of the ethnic people in La Crosse County were Hmong, with a population of 3,309 people. Throughout the years, Hmong people have relocated all over the world. Some even went back to their homelands. It was not always a smooth transition when coming to America. Different cultures, religions, education, and being of a different race were difficulties. Although those things were bound to happen, Hmong are mostly happy here. Some even like America better. According to Pao Vang from La Crosse, fishing and hunting was prime in America. Maya, a Hmong refugee, resettled in Madison, Wisconsin. Her family didn't think their tiny apartment was crowded, even though they shared it with 14 other people. Anything was better than Bon Vinai. Maya also wrote, "When my family first arrived in America, most didn't speak or write English. Many families had sponsors who picked us up at the airport. Everything about America was different for the Hmong."
My last 2 years, I was on the run from the communists. Moved to Thailand, and when I got to this country at the age of 4, I began, seeing the American culture, accepting the American culture, and taking in all the things.
Pao Yang, a Hmong refugee who came to La Crosse, speaks about the ways some Americans thought about the new change. People who, I don't know what word I can use, hate the refugee. They stay in this country and never have high education. They just get sad. They think we come here and take their jobs.
You've got to understand something, okay? Have you ever been through what these people have gone through? And instead of, yelling out and getting angry, I turned around and I said, you need to understand these people. You need to understand their language, what they went through, how they got to this country, and how hard it is to pick up a second language when you're in your 40s.
Although youth were often torn between two different cultures, many found it easier to adapt than adults.
If you have a sense in your mind, okay, that you want to preserve your culture, meaning the Hmong culture, as well as taking in and embracing the American culture, and you have an equal balance of both cultures and you know exactly what's going on in each, then you will do well no matter where you're at, what you're at, and you will be able to accept both of the cultures.
By exploring ways to retain their culture and exchanging aspects about their heritage, Hmong can express their culture as America learns about it. Hmong New Year is a popular way Hmong express their culture with America. This event celebrates Hmong lifestyle, food, language, clothes, and religion. Kao Kalia Yang wrote in her book about this journey. This year, we tell the Hmong story the way it is. Father, hold on, our dreams are coming. We didn't come all the way from the clouds just to go back without a trace. We seekers of refuge will find it, if not in the world, then in each other. If not in life, then surely in books. Our dreams are coming. Grandmother, I'm holding on to you as you were holding on to my father. Mother, I didn't forget you. My hand is all caught up in yours. Together we are typing on the keyboards of time. We will pick up the same breeze, the winds of summer. Our dreams are coming true, my Hmong brothers and sisters.